Why Not? A queer podcast.
Thank you to our sponsor, Pineapple Healthcare, an award-winning primary care clinic right here in Orlando.
Pineapple Healthcare offers mental health counseling, HIV, STI testing and treatment, and specializes in care for the LGBTQ plus community.
Open Monday through Saturday. Call today at 407-553-6336 and schedule your appointment.
Pineapple Healthcare. Better together.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Todd.
And I'm Jeremy Williams, and you're listening to
Why Not? A queer podcast.
Episode 132.
Look at us. We don't even need scripts. I didn't do
no,
mine.
I had the script in front of me.
Oh, no.
Just
I
in
did.
case.
I did, but look, usually it's color coded as to who's going to say what, and
Oh.
I forgot to print it in color, so I was like, oh, I hope I don't mess it up.
Mine is digital and in color, so I had mine nicely laid out. Thank you.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
Ready to go. You're such a professional, Jeremy, at this.
Well, I got to be professional at something. I still don't have a job.
This is your job.
This is my only job right now. My entire week is geared just towards this.
This job probably qualifies you for food stamps. Have you inquired?
I should see if it gets me some of that low income housing. Because the rent here is just through the roof.
Isn't that what that one big beautiful bill does? Is takes care of people like you?
I think it's supposed to bury people like me.
Or is it supposed to take care of people like you?
They're going to come breaking the door down. They're like, come with us, poor.
Have you ever swim with the fishes? Come on, give it a shot.
But yeah, so still on the job hunt. Sent a bunch more resumes out today. I am broadening the scope of what I'm willing to do and who I'm willing to work for. So coming this fall on Fox News, Jeremy on the Streets.
Has your dating profile on apps also expanded?
No.
Oh, okay.
Those have been shut down for a short period of time.
Oh, voluntarily? I know people who've been kicked out of those apps, is all I'm asking.
No, voluntarily, I've shut them down.
To get kicked out of an app in Manhattan, I'm going to have to know what you did. But anyway, before we jump into what your week has been like, let's talk about the infamous number
132.
Did you find anything interesting about
I did.
them?
Oh, good. Well, here's the thing. I have one interesting thing that I actually found about like 8 or 9 episodes ago. So I was waiting for 132 to come up. So I made a note of it, and I am so excited.
You're ruining this idea that we do zero research for this show if you researched 8 episodes ahead.
Well, this was not really researching. So I've started watching The Office because everyone tells me it's a fantastic show. So I've been watching The Office.
Is it?
And it's actually pretty good. I think it's pretty funny. But there is an episode, it's in season 3, I think, where Michael, who's played by Steve Carell, gets in trouble because he holds movie days in the conference room on Mondays. So he brings everybody in to watch movies on Mondays instead of working. And his boss, Jan, finds out and reprimands him and is talking with Dwight, who is like Michael's right-hand man. If you've seen the show, he's the one with the glasses. Yeah. So when Jan is talking with Dwight tells her that he would make a better boss than Michael and tells her that he has a 132-day plan to overthrow Michael. And I was like, that's a very specific number, very near to an episode we're getting ready to do. So I wrote it down. But it's also the episode, I don't know if you've seen like the GIF with Michael and Dwight, and Michael is saying, hug it out, bitch. It's from that episode. So that's the episode that they hug it out, bitch.
Oh, nice.
So there's 132. The other interesting thing, I thought this was really interesting, is Americans consume on average 132 pounds of wheat flour per person every year.
Really? That sounds like a lot.
It doesn't it? But I mean, I guess wheat flour is in a lot of different food items that we
think about it. It's like if you eat a sandwich a day.
Yeah.
That's more than that, yeah.
Or you eat pasta, or you eat, how I don't know, Big Macs.
I think
do they use wheat
I feel like
flour?
I'm
in
just
their
gonna do
buns?
this tomorrow. I'm gonna sit down and I'm just gonna get my 132 pounds done. I'm just gonna
There you go.
spoon feed myself
Get it-
132
get it out of the
pounds
way.
of wheat.
Now
That's gotta
I
be
don't
0 points, right? No.
for the rest of the year. If you do 132 pounds in one day, you got the rest of the year to be 0 points.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's good. This one I don't know if it is still a relevant fact because it came from a website talking about the Clinton years in the White House. And I don't keep up on what kind of construction they do there. But during the Clinton years, at least, the White House had 132 rooms.
Oh.
I don't know if they've added or demolished rooms in that time period, but during Clinton's years, it was 132 rooms.
Have you seen the renderings of this like entire section, like new building?
The new ballroom, or
yeah.
Yeah, that's where I want my tax money to go to. Richie Fance Hunger Games style balls that they're having
the
in
idea, right, is that you're supposed to cut the excess spending and then like pay off the debt, not like, you know, take the excess spending that you think is excess. So really your children are starving because it's your fault you can't buy them lunch.
Mm-hmm.
But because we're letting them starve in school, we can build this big building now.
Yeah.
Like that.
His thought process on funding is like mine, where I buy cheap generic versions of foods so I can take the money I saved and buy Lego sets. I don't have a job. Why am I buying Lego sets?
Yeah, that's like the math. Dylan and I talk about this math, like when our house sells and we're going to get this money. Like, so let's say it's like $10,000 we're going to walk away with. We have found $50,000 worth of things to buy.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we'll do this when the house sells. Or, oh, we'll do this when the house sells. And and like, that only goes so far.
It's now spent, and you have to go to Amscot and get a quick loan so you can get everything.
Yeah.
So this one I thought was an interesting fact until I realized it was an article from 2018. So it's not relevant anymore. But the article I read that I thought was an interesting fact is, as an icon of freedom, the Statue of Liberty has welcomed all who have come to New York Harbor for the past 132 years. But that was back in 2018.
Yeah, it's a little irrelevant
so
now.
It's actually 7 years added to it.
Wait a minute. For how long it said?
In 2018, it said 132 years.
Well, that's not true. It says it welcomed all who came to the harbor.
It said an icon of freedom. Oh, this is from Fox News. An icon of freedom. The Statue of Liberty has welcomed all. Yeah, it does say all who have come to New York Harbor for the past 132 years. Now,
so did
this
that
was
cruise
again
ship, not the cruise ship, full of European Jewish people that came to try to escape persecution from the Nazis. Did that not come to New York Harbor because that was sent back?
They didn't keep records during those years,
Okay.
so it's very fuzzy. Math is very fuzzy for this website. And then the last one I have is what I call my Caitlin tidbit, and that is the 132nd Pokemon is a Pokemon named Ditto, which is this
again.
blob.
Did we already do that one?
Ditto is this blob that can mold into other life forms. I found this interesting about it. It is unable to maintain its shape if you make it laugh. Me too, Ditto. Me too.
There you are, losing your shape already.
So those are my facts for 132.
Okay, so we have talked, I don't know if we've talked to you in great length about this, but we're working on a way. We may make the videos, the entire videos of these podcasts, available for everybody.
The entire one?
Instead of just to members. And so, but anybody who gets to watch or listen to, or watch episode 131, there's a couple of times at which Caitlin wasn't sure if Jeremy's face was in the video. So she kind of peeks her head around the side of my monitor and you catches her for just a second. And she showed me a screenshot of it. And she's like this.
Oh,
it's hilarious. So good times.
That's awesome because I had a fan reach out and ask, can I watch these videos somewhere online?
Did you say yes if you become a subscribing member to Walmart?
Well, by fan and reaching out, I mean Chris asked me while he was walking by. And went last week when he walked by a couple of times after we were done. He goes, "You record videos of those? Can I watch those somewhere?" I said, "I think on YouTube, but I think you have to be a member of Watermark and or some part of some program." I wasn't sure of the details of how that worked.
Yeah, just sign up as a member. Be a monthly reoccurring member, and boom, instant access. So if I lived in New York,
Yeah.
I would probably not watch podcasts. I'd probably want to listen to them, like while I'm on the subway going somewhere or walking around Times Square, or
I think
Central
specifically he listens to podcasts, but I think specifically he wanted to watch ours
Park. Oh,
because he loves
me.
our shiny faces.
He misses me. I miss you
He
too,
does.
Chris.
Oh, he's not here.
Oh,
He's
That's why
on
I
his
miss
way
him.
home. He
I did tell everybody about his cameo in the last video.
did you?
Is that why he wants to watch it? Because he wants
Yeah,
to see himself
he wants
come,
to see himself.
come
He
down
actually doesn't.
and shame us into submission?
Yeah, he doesn't care at all about us. He just wants to see himself on the video.
How did I look? You look like you just got out of bed, Chris.
But he might actually make a cameo again because he's on his way home, so he may make
Oh.
it back by the time we finish or before we finish recording.
My
But
God, what image will we see of a Chris coming back on a Monday from a weekend in Fire Island
actually,
in the middle of the day?
because we hung out outside. I don't know if you can tell because the light's very bright, but I got some color. I don't know if you can see the
Oh,
difference in.
now that you say
Um,
that, I didn't even turn a light on, so I probably am in the shadows in this one a little bit.
You are in a very bright shirt, so I think that's lighting your face up.
I decided to look like Florida today. Let's see about this. Let's see if I can do this.
Yeah.
Hold on.
All right, what are you doing? Oh,
Here we go. Does this look weird if we do the podcast like this?
it reminds me of a Wave Award party we once had.
Oh, right? Oh, Lord. Anyway,
Reminiscent.
what else you got for 132?
That was it. That's all my 132s. I always finish on Pokemons.
Oh, that's
sounded,
right.
That sounded gross.
Big fan, are you?
I always
that is going to be a clip right there.
I always conclude with my Pokemon tip.
I always climax. No, I
No. I always ejaculate. No, that's not the word.
Not always.
Brings new meaning to Pokemon.
Sometimes it's the journey, not the destination. Anyway,
That's what I tell them.
This is all. This is all I have.
Yes.
This is really lame, but 132 is the sum of 3 consecutive numbers: 43, 44, and 45. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, that is lame.
It's lame.
Just get to your movies.
These are lame too. You're not going to get this one.
I probably won't.
I mean,
By
I'll
the
tell
time
you,
now that we've reached like the 120s, 130s, it's all obscure movies now that I don't. I apparently have not been keeping up on my pop culture knowledge and been drinking far too much wine because I don't remember shit anymore. It's so sad.
it's what they say when you retire. If you don't use your mind, you lose it. So you basically
true.
retired, and now you're just
Ugh,
mush.
I
Welcome
am.
to the last episode of Wine, Why Not?
Aw.
All right, so here we go. 132nd greatest director of all time. Directed such great movies of, I'm going to just say these in English, but I'm sure that there is a French version of these. Children of Paradise, Port of Shadows,
Yeah.
The Devil's Envoys. I thought that was a good
Oh,
one
yeah.
to mention because that's kind of us.
Yeah.
He was a key figure in the poetic realism movement. You know that one, your favorite movies.
That's Jean-Jacques Aricard.
I was going to say, if you were going to make fun of a French name, you might get this one because they say this in Chandler says that Joey is doing his impression of this particular French person.
Marcel?
Yeah, but it's Marcel is this guy's first name. Carnet is the second.
Ah, yes.
All right, here's
That
the
old
100
French dude.
Thanks for the Statue of Liberty, Marcel. Never turns anyone away. All right, so here you might get this. I doubt it, but you might.
Okay.
No, you can get this. It's 132nd greatest movie of all time.
Yes.
Cary Grant, Ingrid Bergman. Here's the synopsis. In order to help bring Nazis to justice, U.S. government agent T.R. Devlin recruits Alicia Huberman, The American Daughter of a Convicted German.
Well, I'm going
Directed
to. Oh, go ahead.
1946. Do you want me to tell you the director, or do you already know?
Sure. Yeah. No, go ahead.
Hitchcock.
North by Northwest.
No, but it starts with an N.
North by Northwest is the only Cary Grant Hitchcock film that comes to mind, but I know it's not that because that's probably like in the top 20.
I'll give you a hint. They remade this later in life in the form of rap, and at the end of the title, they added B.I.G.
Notorious.
Yeah!
Yay!
You got
All
it.
I'm gonna have to
none
look
of that
I
was
have
true.
never. That's not a real movie.
No, it wasn't remade.
Oh,
the
no,
Notorious B.I.G.
When you said remade into rap with the last part being B.I.G., I knew you were talking about that. But I'm a big Hitchcock fan too, and I've never seen Notorious. I should check it out.
I mean, it was a 96, 81 on the Rotten Tomato spectrum.
Because the only Cary Grant film that I was aware of that Hitchcock directed him in was North by Northwest. And originally, Jimmy Stewart was supposed to star in that. But when they made Vertigo, because Jimmy Stewart is in that Hitchcock film, it was such a bomb that Hitchcock thought it was that Jimmy Stewart didn't have the star power anymore and didn't want to put him in North by Northwest. So he got Cary Grant instead. And that's sad.
Big mistake.
I love huge. No, I mean, I love Jimmy Stewart, so I'd watch him in anything. I probably would have watched Notorious if he was in
anything.
Anything. Do you think he would do Pokemon?
If he was in it, you would only make it through the first 47 seconds of the movie.
We did a movie reviewed Rope, which was Hitchcock and Jimmy Stewart. Big fan of both of them.
That was an interesting movie. That was the one that was like shot in one take, right?
Yeah, it was made to look. It was actually shot in 3 takes, but they edited it together to look like it's one long take. And that's the one with the gay undertones.
Yes.
Which apparently, and I don't know if
which isn't
this
a
is
1960s rock band.
No, it should.
But it sounds like a good name for one.
But I read an article that Hitchcock wanted not just subtext, but wanted to be a out and proud gay film, and the studio said, hell no, you won't ever make that. If he was alive today, I bet he would have been made Brokeback.
And he originally had cast Rock Hudson.
Yeah,
but
and
then
they said
no,
hell no.
He had to get Carrie. He had to get
Jimmy Stewart.
That show
Anyway.
Hollywood, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Wasn't that an interesting
Oh,
TV
yeah.
show? We've never covered that, but I really like.
We should go back and rewatch it.
Oh, an excuse to go back and watch that show? Hell yes.
Do you know who's in it?
Superman.
Our Superman, David Cornsweet. Yeah.
Yeah. He makes me corn sweat.
Oh, yes. Oh. Yes, he does.
No, if I was Irish, that would sound really weird, or even more weird. He makes me corn sweat.
It makes me corn sweat.
I don't know what that means. But yeah, he's beautiful, and
I love
that's
him.
a really interesting. I like that show so much because it gives you this. Although I will tell you, did you just lick the bottle?
Yeah, it was dripping. It's my bottle. I'll do what I want.
Yeah, we're writing that one down. The whole idea, what they do with the Rock Hudson theme, it's like, like they take it to this idea that what if Rock Hudson had come out, and what if he was able to live the life he wanted to live? What would his life be like? So it's cool.
It's the whole premise of it, and it's the same thing with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Tarantino film. It's this premise of what if things had gone differently in Hollywood. And if you haven't seen Hollywood, check it out. It's on Netflix, and apparently we're going to watch it for the next episode, or an upcoming episode, something, because it's really good. I'm not a huge Ryan Murphy fan. I find him to be very snooty and pretentious, but that's one of the things that he produced that I really, really liked. And it's just this kind of, if we had embraced diversity earlier in Hollywood, where could we have gone? What could have happened?
You said something and it sparked this whole train of thought for me that's ridiculous, and I want us to make this happen. When our podcast becomes so famous, I want this to be like sort of like the shows where they have famous people on and they interview them, but all we want to do is to have them stand on the other side of the curtain. And so when you say I find him to be pretentious, the curtain opens and it's Ryan Murphy, and he says, "Fuck you, Jeremy, you're a dick," and then closes the curtain, and that's it. And we just have these cameos every time we talk about a famous person. They just
I have a list of celebrities you can reach out to, starting with Ryan Murphy and Andy Cohen.
Do we have? Oh my God! And Andy Cohen goes, "What? Did somebody say my name?" Do we have? We need to find somebody that does impressions, and they just have to stand back there and listen, and every once in a while pop in as a character of somebody we're.
I
talking
do
about.
Impressions, but that wouldn't work because I'm on the show.
We talked about your impressions in the office the other day. Somebody was trying to do some sort of accent, and we're like, "Oh, too bad we can't do this accent," or blah blah blah. And I was like, "Well, now that Jeremy's not with us anymore, I mean, he's still of this earth, obviously."
Yeah.
Just not with
apparently until the end of this podcast. My time has come to an end.
Now it would be really weird if you had a heart attack at the end of the podcast.
Stop. No.
Don't do that to me. Not on
I'm
camera.
a hypochondriac.
Do not do this on camera.
Okay, I will do it privately on my own.
All right. So do you want to talk about your week?
Sure. So interesting thing happened last week. Not interesting, kind of annoying. But the day after we did the podcast, last Tuesday, I got up in the morning and Chris had just gotten home from work because he works overnights. And we were chatting in the living room, and we started hearing like a running water, like a dripping water. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So we looked towards the entryway. It's not a very big apartment. So we looked left and then we looked right. And it was on the right. And there was water leaking from one of the light fixtures in the ceiling. So I tried to get a hold of.
Well, you guys had heavy rains there recently, right?
We did, but it wasn't that.
Oh,
because we have a floor above us. So if it was like heavy rains, it would have had to have leaked into the 5th floor apartment and then
somebody killed themselves in the bathtub.
Oh my God, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, somebody died above us and it's overflowing and now it's leaking. So
is your upstairs neighbor's last name Houston?
Oh, it is 2 ladies and they have like Russian accents.
Oh, so they killed somebody in the bathtub.
I won't speak too loudly in case they did something. So I called the super. He came in. They walk in, they look up, and they're like, yeah, that's upstairs. So they leave, and then they go upstairs, and then like 20 minutes later, they knock on the door, and they're like, their kitchen sink had a busted pipe underneath, so it was leaking, and it was leaking in. So he came in, and he goes, I checked the outlet for you, or the socket for you. So he pulls one of our kitchen chairs up, and he gets up there, and he starts just like fumbling with it. And he pulls the little bracket down and water pours down, and he takes the he's got the light bulb up, water pours down. So he reaches over and flips the switch while water's pouring down. I was like, Jesus Christ, what is this man doing? And the light doesn't come on, and he goes, light bulb must be out. So he turns it off. He goes, I come back. And then he leaves. Like 30 minutes later, comes back. We got a towel on the floor sopping up the water because it's still kind of dripping. So he gets up there and he pulls the socket back down. More water pours down, and he goes, don't worry, we fixed it. This is just extra water. And I was like, extra water?
You don't even have to pay for that.
Extra water from where? So he pulls it down, and as water is pouring out of the light socket, he puts a new light bulb in and then flips the switch. The light comes on. He goes, your light works. And then he turns it off and leaves. And I told Chris, I was like, don't use that light.
Did he
just
leave
leave
it back together?
He did. He put it all back together. And then he left. And I was like, dude, this building is like over 100 years old. I would not risk anything. I mean, your life is more important than my hall light. But yeah, he just like fumbling around with it with water pouring out of it.
I'm going to guess it's not the first time that he's messed around with I'll tell you this. We had a handyman come into the house once to I think something happened to the ceiling fan, like something wasn't working, either the light or something. So we had a handyman come in, or an electrician, and we're like, can you just like take it apart and put it back together, just to see what's working, what's not? And he's like, sure. And he never flipped the breaker. He did the whole thing with the juice going to it. Like he knew what to do.
No.
Or he did a thing when he was ready to touch the wire. He hit something on it, and I guess that snapped the breaker. And then he put it together and then went back and turned it back on or something like that. Like they know what to do. He knows what to do.
He should have. I don't know if I've mentioned this since I've been here, but our circuit box is right here in the hallway. It is the smallest circuit box. It's like this, it's tiny. And literally when you open it, it has 2 switches, and written above the switches, it has an arrow pointing towards the kitchen, and it says left sockets, and an arrow pointing to the living room that says right sockets. That is it.
Well, I mean, you can stand and you're at the door and take a tour of your apartment.
True.
You know,
It's true.
how many do you need?
But I have never seen such a small. I thought maybe the refrigerator would be on its own. I mean, I guess that's it. We don't have anything else that's worth popping a circuit breaker.
My first apartment in New York, it had one outlet, 2 sockets. Right?
Really?
That was it. And in that, we had plugged in a mini fridge, a TV, a VCR, because it was VCR days. Got to record Buffy.
Yes.
And then I think we had an
what
answering
do the
machine.
kids do? Yes.
We're giving Buffy
excited
her
about
flowers.
Are you excited about the Buffy reboot?
There's a Buffy reboot?
Oh my God. Sarah Michelle Gellar is returning, and they're going to reboot the series. You remember how it ended? Why is that funny?
I mean, what is she gonna do? Like, is she gonna be the
think
Niles or something?
Giles. It's not Frasier.
I actually did watch like every episode of Buffy, so I don't know why I'm being stupid about what it's actually about.
I think they haven't released a lot of the details, but I think she's going to be, because it continued on after season 7 as a comic book, because at the end of seasons, haven't spoiler alert for those who are Buffy fans who haven't finished the season or the series, they do use some magic to make every potential Slayer into a Slayer. So I think it's going to be a continuation of that, because there's a comic book.
So she's still like, she's going to be, I'm 55 and I'm going to go out there and kick some vampire ass.
Okay, I don't think she's 55.
Okay, she's older than me.
Is she?
Isn't
Caitlin.
she?
Caitlin, get on that.
Let's see. How old is
I
Sarah
thought
Michelle
she
Gellar?
was more my age. But also, have you seen her lately? She looks good. Like, she could kick my ass. I'm sure she could.
All right, she's 48.
Oh, yeah, she's only 2 years older than me. Yeah. And look, I mean,
that makes all the
Jolie
difference
is. Hey, listen, there is and no disrespect to you or me, but there is a huge difference between Hollywood late 40s, early 50s, and common folk late 40s, early 50s. We are common folk.
I mean, if Nicole Scherzinger can play Norma Desmond, then I guess Buffy can still be a vampire slayer. I love Sarah Michelle
That's
Gellar.
what I'm saying.
Don't get me wrong.
I think she'll be more the Watcher, the Slayer, where she's kind of mentoring these, because they introduced the new cast already, and it's all younger folks, and one of them's going to be a Slayer.
Is she
and
going to
her
be married
band
to
of
Angel,
friends.
or did he die in the end of Angel? Because didn't Buffy die at the end of Buffy, or wasn't there like bad guys won? The bad guys won in Angel, right?
It's very open-ended in Angel. Buffy died at the end of season 5. And then they brought her back for 6 and 7, but she's alive at the end of 7. They destroy the Hellmouth, and then they make everybody else Slayers.
And now,
so she's
30
not the
years
only one.
later, it's a crusty old Hellmouth.
Anyway, I'm excited about it, and I can't wait. I love you, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Other than Sarah Michelle Gellar, who else is going to?
They haven't announced. They haven't announced.
Back?
No, Xander definitely isn't coming back because he's, I think, in jail.
Is he?
He's had a lot of legal issues and criminal issues. So I don't know if he's still in jail, but I know he was arrested quite a few times.
Is he like the guy? Is he like Puck in jail, or is he like, just?
Oh no,
drugs in jail?
No, like fighting, and I think
okay.
I think he's abused his, allegedly. I think he was a domestic abuser, but I might be confusing him with somebody else. So don't quote me on that. Please don't sue me. But no, they haven't announced. They have said that some past cast members will return, but they haven't said who except for Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I think that I believe I read somewhere, again, widely researched on our part. It's just
Of
that
course.
if your opinion of fact matters when it comes to free speech cases. So if you honestly believe something to be true and you say that, then that factors into I believe I read this somewhere, and so therefore, even if it's not true, and you're like, oh, I could be wrong. See, you're covered.
Oh.
That's good.
I honestly believe that David Cornsweat is in love with me. I read that somewhere.
Yeah, you read it in your diary.
Oh, how'd you know I kept one?
By the way, you just said that.
Oh, you're going in the diary tonight. Rick pissed me off again.
Well, you know what? I'm working on my 4th step, so you're going on my resentment steps.
Are you?
Anyway.
What? I don't know the steps. What's the 4th step?
The 4th step is what is it? The actual verbiage. It's sort of like you make a list of you're basically you're identifying your character defects, right? So what you do is you make a list of sort of all the resentments that you have. Like, for example, I may resent home buyers in St. Pete, and I write down like
We're
why
gonna get
I
to that,
resent-
aren't we?
Then you write down why you resent them, and then you talk about like why it is. So I resent this because, or like why you get easily mad at people, that are driving and you yell at cars and that kind of thing. You're kind of talking about what brings this sort of anger to you and why. So most of the time it's really like out of a fear of like financial security, if somebody's not doing their job at work and I freak out about it, it's like because it affects my financial security and I want them to get their jobs done so we make the money we need to make. Well, it's things like that, and you kind of get to the root of what these are about. Like, is it pride, is it whatever, and then you identify like what your responsibility was in that scenario. So like what did you do to make the situation worse, so that you could really see like, oh, because of my pride I make these poor decisions, and now I've identified that. And then the next step after that is sort of like you ask your higher power to release you of all of these character defects, and you kind of work on it as time as they come up, kind of a thing. The gist of it, kind of. I found mine from like 9 years ago when I was doing it, and it's actually the last step that I've worked on. So now I'm going back through the process to actually go beyond it. And I've actually and sadly I've been on the 4th step for like 2 months because so much has been going on. But I've got it. I'm doing it this week, nailing it.
Yeah. The extent of my knowledge with the steps is limited to that Seinfeld episode where George finds out that a guy that the group knew is going through the steps because he was an alcoholic. And I guess step 9, I don't know if this was just for the show or that's right. Step 9 is where you apologize to people for things you did. And George was waiting for his apology, and he never got the apology. And he went to the guy and was like, "Where's my apology?" And then forced the guy to turn back to drinking.
See, that is a very well, that's hilarious, by the way. But that is the common misconception. If you ask any sober person or non-alcoholic what the steps are, they will all tell you that you apologize for all the mistakes that you made.
It's Seinfeld's fault.
And but that is not exactly what it is. So step 8 is like where you list out all of the terrible things that you've done. And then step 9, where possible, without causing harm or injury to yourself or others, you make amends for that. So it's not necessarily apologizing. You're making amends. So let's say that you can't you can't apologize to somebody. Either they've deceased, or maybe whatever the relationship was is so far gone that you cannot go to this person and talk to them face to face, or they will kill you, kind of a thing. So
Sure.
then you make amends in a way. So let's say like a lot of times it's financial related. If somebody embezzled money from their company, they could make an anonymous donation back to the company, or if the company's no longer in existence, to a charity that has something to do with what the business was that was happening, that kind of thing. It's like it's taking actions to make up for the terrible actions that you made, not just like apologizing. So like I imagine that there are people that that I know, that that I know, that
Sure,
that
yeah.
that I know, that I've done horrible things to, previous
Oh, yeah.
employees of Watermark who
Sure.
probably can't stand me anymore.
Mm.
Maybe sitting at home saying, it's been almost
We
10 years. Where's my apology? And it's like, it's not
We
about,
actually have a group we go to. No, I'm just kidding.
I just watched during lunch the I Hate Rachel Green Club. Is there an I Hate Rick Todd club?
No,
it's
but,
possible. I mean,
little
look, I
fun-
used to be a terrible person.
Little fun fact, I believe it was James Spader that played the guy who was doing the steps in Seinfeld, that episode. It's a good episode. I really dug it. It's funny. But what it was is they were at a party at this guy's house, and it was cold, and George wanted to borrow a sweater, and the guy said no because you'll stretch the neck hole out.
I do remember this.
Because you have a huge head. And George is so pissed that the guy was not making amends with him. So funny.
The other one that sticks out in my mind so much is the episode where George went to the bathroom at a bookstore or at a library or something, and he took the book with him, and then they were gonna make him buy it because they were like, it was in the bathroom, you have to buy it.
Yeah.
Oh,
he has a lot of bathroom stuff. He also has an episode where he doesn't like to be uncomfortable when he uses the bathroom. So even if it's a public bathroom, he takes his shirt off. And he forgot to put his shirt back on when he was coming out of the bathroom. Hilarious. Anyway, good show. Check it out if you haven't checked it out. Good show.
Anything else happened in your week?
Yes. Ooh. So this happened not once, but twice. And I think it might have been the same guy, but I don't know because I wasn't focused on his face. But twice this week, I was walking down the street, and a guy stepped up to the curb and just, like, nonchalantly, not caring, whipped it out and started peeing on the street. And I instantly was drawn to the penis. And they kind of both...
With your eyes, right?
Yes!
Oh, okay.
I was drawn to the penis with my eyes.
I just dove on it.
But twice it happened in 1 week. And I was like, dude, I mean, come on. There's...
Jeremy,
kids nearby. There's a park.
You're establishing a pattern here. At some point,
people keep showing me their genitals.
What are you doing to make this happen?
It's true.
Are
I just
you
have
wearing
one of those
a shirt
faces
that says "Show me your genitals"? Like what?
Show me your junk.
Anyway,
I'll rate
twice, your junk.
I saw a man peeing in the street. So that was fun. What else? Oh, me and Chris were heading out to get coffee, and we passed by. We were going to get coffee and pizza late at night, so we got pizza and then we were heading to get coffee. And as we were walking to get the coffee, because he works overnights and I don't have a job, so we were getting coffee at like 10 o'clock at night.
I get the coffee. And I get the pizza. What I don't get is the coffee and pizza. Okay.
We got pizza, and then we were like, hey, let's go get a cup of coffee. And we were walking, and there was this guy screaming at what I think was the bouncer at a bar or a club or something. And I wanted to pull my phone out because I keep seeing, you see these videos on TikTok, and they've got like millions of views. I was like, I can get millions of views. And Chris is like, just mind your business. Just in New York, you just mind your business. You don't need to record that. And as he's saying that, we're walking by, there's a guy standing on the curb holding his phone, recording it. So hopefully, I hope to God there's a video out there of him recording this fight and us walking by and Chris being like, just mind your business. You don't need to record this. So that was fun. What else did I do? Oh, I found this cool place. It's called Gotham City Barber. Me and Chris went and got our haircut. I don't know if you can tell because I didn't put
I thought I saw the bat signal on the top of your head.
But I loved it. It's called Gotham City Barber, and all the barbers there were really attractive. So I was very nervous going in there. Now, I'm a big guy, so I sweat when I walk. It just happens. I can't help it. So I got there and I got sat down and I'm like sweating like a pig. And he puts the little thing around me and he probably thought, oh, this little fat gay boy is nervous around me because I'm hot. But he had this little towel there and he kept dabbing my brow. It was very romantic. I think he's in love with me.
It's somewhere that guy's doing a podcast, and he's like, "Oh my god, this
This fat pig came in. He was sweating all over the place.
like I had to use 6 towels to keep his brow dry so I could cut his damn hair. It was so disgusting." And
But
you're like, it was love.
I'm sure it was disgusting for him, but it was love for me. He was a delight.
Hey, you don't know.
and
Maybe he took that towel home.
Oh,
Maybe you're his Pokemon.
maybe he took it into the streets. That's what they do here. And then the big thing that I did this week is it was the Pines party at Fire Island Pines. So Chris went for the whole weekend. I went just for the day. But the getting there, because I don't have a car, obviously, the getting there was kind of fun because you use all these different modes of transportation. So I took the subway to the train in Queens, in Jamaica, Queens. And then you get on the train and you take that out to Sayville, and you get off at Sayville, and then you go to the ferry, and you take the ferry across to the Pines. So I felt like that movie, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I was taking all these modes of
I
transportation.
thought you were going to say Fire Island.
Ooh, I did feel like that movie too.
You know, think about how exciting it must have been. I mean, I guess I'm not naive to what happened in the 80s and the 90s, so I'm not saying like this is cool. But I'm just saying, like, can you imagine what life was like in the 80s and the 90s when, you know, the whole train is full of gay people?
This train was full of gay, because it's the Pine Party.
Yeah.
The train was, I even wrote it here. I wrote, holy crap, there was a faggle of gays on this train.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. And it was delightful because you could tell they were gays. Like, I'm sure they could tell I was gay. But they were
think you were like the straight narc.
They're like, I bet he's going to protest. He's probably got, you know,
Fox News reporter. Fox News is coming to write about groomers. You know, I lived in New York for 3 years, and I never made it to the Hamptons, to the Poconos, or Fire Island, or anything like that.
Really?
Yeah, I made it to the duplex.
Did I sound surprised? Because you told me that before the podcast, but I wanted to have authenticity. So I was like, really?
I appreciate that you have caught on to the fact that I'm going to say things like you've never heard them before.
But it was really nice. 2 things first. Getting there, the train stops in Sayville, and then, like I said, you have to take the ferry, but the ferry is about 1.5 miles from the train station. So most people, they had shuttle buses. And Chris had gone out the night before because he stayed, like I said, stays the whole weekend. And I was like, you know what? It's 1.5 miles. I need to get my steps in for the day. So I decided to walk to the ferry, which it was the weekend. I'm sure it was hot and muggy there in Florida, but it was
you have no idea. We're talking like feels like temperatures over 110.
Oh,
it is so hot outside that it's like we don't do anything. Like you just stay in the air conditioning. Like we're like, should we go to the theme park? Should we do this? And we're like, hell no, do nothing. Stay inside.
The high was 74.
Oh, so nice.
On Saturday. And I walked there, and I swear to God, I felt like I was in Desperate Housewives. It was the most non-New York little town I had ever seen. So I got off the train and I'm walking through, and there was this thing going on this weekend. I thought it was just in Manhattan, but apparently they do them all over the city, but it's Summerfest. So like all the little towns have like these little street festivals. And so I was walking through, cutest little street festival. They had some like comic book and pop culture and nerd tent set up. So I went to like stop by and went through some of their stuff. But the entire walk from the train station to the ferry is all through neighborhoods and the little downtown of Sayville. It is the cutest little town I've ever seen in my life. Literally, I walked out into one of the neighborhoods, and there was a little girl there with her dad with a lemonade stand selling lemonade. And they were like mowing the yards, and like people were like old couples doing their power walking. And when I walked by, they were like, hey, good afternoon. How are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm great. How are you doing? It was very like Stepford Wives, Desperate Housewives feeling. I'm like, I may move to Sayville. It was a delightful little town. I loved it. So I got to the ferry, took the ferry across, and the difference and kindness from people in Sayville to those homos at the Pines and Fire Island, they're some of the hottest men I have ever seen in real life. I mean, gorgeous. I have never seen snootier, cuntier men in my life. They were horrible. And not just to me, like just the like walking by and the way they talk to people and talk about people.
And that was just Chris.
That was just Chris. No. They were like little just snide comments to other people as they walk by. And I was like, wow, y'all are bitches. I do not like it here. But I walked around a little bit. We got lunch. We went to the beach. It was nice. It was like one magical weekend. It's like all the guys are walking around in their little Speedos with their, I've been going to the gym for 3 months straight bodies. And then interspliced is like guys like me, where it's like chubby bears who are in very flowy robe type stuff. And it's like, hey, fellows.
I've been going to coffee and pizza for 3 months straight so I could get here.
But it's cute. It's very nice. It's very chill out there.
Minus the cuntiness.
Minus the cuntiness. I'll be honest. I don't know if I'll go back to the Pines, but I will definitely be going back to Sayville. It is like my all-time favorite little town. That is the cutest
Chris
little
is
town.
going to be like, I'm going to the Pines. And Jeremy will be like, I'll ride with you.
I'll come with you. I'm not going all the way.
Yeah.
So one thing I did notice on the train back is the train stops in Amityville, which is the place where the Amityville horror happened. So I was almost tempted to get off the train and go to the house, but I was like, I don't want to. I'm tired because it was on the way back. I was tired and I was like, next time. But so it's like on the way. So I'm gonna go check out the Amityville house here in the next couple of weeks.
I feel like I've driven by there. It's smaller than you would think. I think if memory serves.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Did you hear? Because
it's not the one that Ryan Reynolds lived in. It's
no. It's from the original, from the actual event.
Right.
Didn't happen. Didn't really happen. But did you hear Matt Rife? You know the stand-up comedian Matt Rife?
I do.
He bought the
the
Ed and
Annabelle
Lorraine Museum. Yeah. He bought the whole museum and he's opening it up. You can pay to stay in the house and like walk through the museum and stuff at night.
Wait, what are we talking about? The Annabelle doll.
The Annabelle, it's the whole museum from The Conjuring. It's not just he bought the whole house with the museum.
That.
Yes.
He could offer me 7 minutes in heaven with him, which I'd only need 47 seconds. But no way. No way. Even with that, even if I got a hall pass from my husband, sex with Matt Rife, never would I stay in that house. No, he could. There was nothing. You could tell me that I could be reincarnated. Go back in time, reincarnate. I'm Russell Hitchcock. I'm the lead singer of Air Supply. I have this fabulous life. I would still say no. There is nothing you could offer me that would get me to sleep in
There's
that
a lot
Conjuring
that I
house
would do
for 1 minute.
There's a lot I would do to have sex with Matt Rife. I'm not lying. I mean, I know that Chris asked because I told Chris about it. He goes, didn't he get canceled? I was like, he's uncanceled, I guess. I don't know.
He seems
I don't know how cancel works anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, can he be canceled for a long time? I think really hot people can only be canceled for
I'll
so
tell
long.
you what he could cancel on me.
Go ahead. No, I'm just kidding. Please don't.
No, please. So anyway, then we also stopped in Massapequa, which I was like, I'm sure something from Friends was tied to Massapequa. And I was like, is that remember the episode where Ross was taking the train to go see that girl? And it was like, he was tired because
he ended up in Canada?
Yeah. So I was like, was that Massapequa? But it wasn't. It was Poughkeepsie where he ended up.
Is Massapequa, is that where like the car broke down when Ross and Rachel were fighting?
What I looked it up, and the only thing I could find is Massapequa is where Jerry Seinfeld is originally from.
Huh.
So they had referenced it in Seinfeld a couple of times. So I was like, that's probably why the name sounds familiar to me. So that was my weekend. I did make a note here in case he asks about it. I did not go to Rick's bread place, but I will go next weekend. I was busy this weekend, so I wasn't able to get there. But it's on my list.
Rick's bread place.
I actually made a list based on
Mary O's Irish soda bread scones.
Yeah, that's the place. I made a list of things I want to check out based on what you said, and TikToks I had seen over the last 2 weeks. So really quick, I'll read the list to you. McGee's Pub, which is the Irish pub that the bar in How I Met Your Mother is based off. The two creators of How I Met Your Mother used to hang out at this pub. And I guess they have drinks and stuff that are based off of the show. So I want to go check that out. Birdland's Jazz Club. The Dead Rabbit, I didn't make to, which I want to go to, which has the authentic Irish that big meal in England and Ireland that they do.
Bangers and mash?
The roast.
Oh.
The Sunday roast. They do a big Sunday
don't know
roast on
anything about
Sunday.
that.
So I want to check that out. Poseidon's Bakery, the Tenement Museum, the Museum of Moving Images. The Friends Experience is over near the VA. So I have an appointment later this week that I have to go to the VA. I'm going to go to the Friends Experiment. And then I wrote at the very bottom, that bread place that Rick won't shut up about. So I'm going to check that out because that's over there too. So I was like, oh, I'll make a day of it.
I don't even care if you care. I don't even want to hear about it.
You do care. Don't you lie. You do care. But I am going to check it out this week because it's on my list because I'm going to go to my appointment. Then I'm going to get some soda bread. And then I'm going to go to the Friends Experience.
What day is that appointment?
Thursday.
Is it open on Thursdays?
Yep, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
All right.
I specifically made sure that it fell into the proper time frame. Anyway, that was my week.
Wow, that's exciting. Well, I don't know if this is going to affect that schedule at all. So the plan was, right, that today, remember last time that we did the podcast story, we had a buyer.
Yes.
Everything's going great. And the plan was today is closing day for the house. And
then you were going to come up here
we're going
next
up there
week.
Next, like a week from today and celebrate and blah, 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 blah.
Well, I already got the tickets.
Let me tell you what happens with the house.
It's okay. The tickets were free.
Wait, did you get them?
It's a free concert.
Oh, I thought you had to get them. Like you had it was free, but you had to get tickets. No.
Okay. Oh, no. It's a walk-up kind of thing.
So here's how it's going, right? We talked about the inspection and how the AC kicked out while the inspection was happening and we were panicking and all this. Well, we ended up getting it fixed. So we got the air conditioner fixed. We got it working, but then we decided to go above and beyond because we heard that the buyer was serious about buying the house. And we were like, you know what? In good faith, the AC people told us in a couple of months, these extra things will probably go out on this. And so we were like, let's throw a bone and say, we appreciate you buying a house. So let's get this fixed. So we did the above and beyond kind of stuff and let the buyer know. And we were working with the people who fixed it to give certified letters from licensed people saying that these things were fixed and that the 4-point inspection was being passed and everything's good to go. So we get to Wednesday. Now, Wednesday at 11:45 at night is the end of the inspection period. So for those who don't know, who don't buy houses, when you make an offer on a house that gets accepted, you have an inspection period. And what you have during that inspection period is time to get any inspector out that you want. Termite inspections, wood-eating organisms, you get contractors out to tell you whatever you want, and you have to have a home inspection. You do 4-point inspection,
really
all
quick.
these different things.
Did you say wooding organisms?
Yeah, like wood eating. So there's not it's not just termites, but like certain ants and other things like that. And there's variations of termites and things like that. Do you think
I've never been a homeowner. No. I knew you said wooded organisms, but I've never owned a house, so I wasn't sure what you meant by that.
So all these different things, and so sometimes it's 3, 5, 7, 10 days, whatever. This inspection period was 7 days, so he had 7 days to get all these things done.
Ooh, like the Ring Girl.
Yeah, 7 days. So we get to Wednesday, and we're we're working really hard to get all of the information together so that everything's good to go on our end. So we get all that together. Everything's good to go. Gets to be about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. We haven't heard anything, but we were told the guy works until 6. And when he gets done, he's going to talk to get everything signed. So we're feeling like this is all good. Now, what happens after the inspection period is that when you make an offer on a house, you have to put earnest deposits down, which is usually like I don't know, 1 to 3% of something. He put a $5,000 earnest deposit down. So what happens is after the inspection period, if you back out of buying the house for any reason after the inspection period, you have to give that earnest money to the seller. So we would get $5,000.
So it's non-refundable.
If he backed out of it. But
Yeah.
if he backs out of it during the inspection period, he's fine. So we're just like, we're waiting, right, on everything. Although I did start getting things like I ordered a storage unit to be delivered to the house in Orlando because we were like, we got to get out there and pack everything up and get it. And we got to put it in that storage unit. I got the truck and all this kind of stuff. But I hadn't really told anybody. Like, we have a contractor who's waiting to do work at Jen's house once the house sells. But I hadn't told him, like, hey, because I'm just like waiting for the inspection period to come and go. And we're under the impression that everything's fine. Well, at about 8 o'clock on Wednesday, we start hearing that the buyer is starting to say the same sort of bullshit that he was saying a week before.
Yeah.
And it's things
How
like,
far into the inspection process was this?
oh, this is the end of it. This is day 7.
This is at the very last day.
Yeah, day 7. And apparently, I don't know, maybe he just didn't decide to read any of the reports until the last day. And so what he said was that he felt like, well, he wanted to extend the inspection period so that he could get a contractor out to the house and look at something. And we were like, look, your inspector that you paid to have come out to the house said that the termite damage on the house was superficial and that there's nothing structurally wrong. That's what your inspector said. A carpenter looked at it and said this. Now, he did have an appointment for a contractor to come out there, but the contractor never showed. So he wanted us to extend the period. And we were like, listen, you're getting a house for $30,000 less than what it's on the market for. You're getting these things that we've done extra. And you had 7 full days to make this inspection happen. And you didn't do it. I'm sorry, but we're not extending it. We're not giving anything back. We've been upfront about everything. We've given you all the inspection reports from the other inspections that we've done. Everything has been laid out for you. And he said, okay, I'm out. And that was it.
What?
Just like that, walked away. And I knew when it went under contract, I said, I'm not going to get excited about it because I feel like in a week we're going to be right back where we were. And all the same BS excuses too. Like, I don't know, how much I'm supposed to know about all of it, so I'm not going to say too much. But it was just this, like, one thing was like that, like feeling rushed to get to the process. Well, you know what? The inspection period is 7 days. You have 7 days. At the end of that, you've got to rush to get it done at the end. But anyway, so the house is back on the market. I think we're lowering the price, whatever. But so then I texted you and I said, hey, we're not coming because of that, because it didn't sell. So we're like, well, we don't want to have that extra expense and blah, 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 blah.
You just called me out. When you told me that he backed out, I looked surprised. And you're like, when I texted you earlier. You called me out. You're
doing a very good job, by the way. People might just think that it's because you're not working and you're drunk all the time that you just forgot.
I'm not drunk.
But I want to give you some news.
Oh, really quick. I do want to say, because you said that he had a carpenter come out. Do you know who my 2 favorite carpenters are?
Mama Cass.
Was she a carpenter? She wasn't a carpenter. She was a mama and the papas.
Oh, no, wasn't she? Oh, she wasn't mama and papas. Darn
Karen
it.
Carpenter was a carpenter.
Oh, that's
no,
true.
my 2 favorite carpenters, Jesus Christ and Harrison Ford.
Oh, there
You know he was a carpenter before he got into acting? Harrison
did.
Ford, not Jesus Christ.
Before he started acting like your Lord and Savior.
Him and Harrison are like, let's build a table.
This is the let's piss off our moms episode. We both said the C word. And then we said Jesus was an actor.
I did. I'm sorry, Mama.
No.
Anyway, what's your good news?
Here's the news. After a weekend of eating our feelings and gaining a bunch of weight doing that, Dylan and I decided to say, fuck it. We're coming to New York next week. We're buying the tickets today. Yeah. So we're going to come.
Nice.
We're coming. But so this is like, depending on your schedule, because like we were like, we'll be there on Saturday.
I'm very busy.
We're going to get there on Saturday. And then we have Sunday. So I thought we could go get Irish soda bread on Sunday morning if you wanted to.
Well, I will not waste my time getting it on Thursday.
And then we've got the show then on Monday that we want to go to. So we'll be able to go and talk about that. And we thought while we were there, if you're up for it, we could do a new photo shoot for podcast promo photos.
Oh, that'll be fun. Yeah.
So we'll coordinate all that.
Yes.
So that's a thing. I do want to give a shout out to a couple of things that we did in the week. Other than that, we went to George Wallace's trivia that he does at Ivanhoe Village, which is
He's been doing that for years. And Danny, when I was there, Danny kept trying to get me. He goes, "I'm going to trivia. You want to go?" And I was like, "Maybe I'll meet you there." And then it's
Here's
always
the
during the week and right after work. And
Now, I'm going to say this full on knowing that he listens to this podcast. He's not inviting you to go to be on his team. He just wants there to be bodies there. Dylan and I showed up, and then he sits at a table with these other people. He didn't want us to be on his team.
oh, real? Oh,
Yeah.
well, then,
so,
no, I'm glad I didn't go.
yeah. He's like, "Oh, I'm glad you're here. Good luck." I'll tell you what, he did buy our first drinks, though. I'm going to give a shout out
Oh,
to the
that's
bartender.
nice.
I don't know what his name was, but I hate to be this kind of guy because when I first started drinking and I really didn't like the taste of alcohol, this is what I would say. "I don't know what I want to drink. Make me something that's fruity but not too fruity." So real annoying. But now when I go up and I just ask the bartender, I was like, "How's your mocktail game?" And then the guy was like, "I don't know." He goes, "Well, I mean, I don't have any specific things, but I can make something up." And I was like, "Perfect." I was like, "I don't want anything that's super sugary or too tropical, but I like ginger beer, so anything along those lines." And he made me the most delicious mocktail. I don't know what was in it, but it was super good and makes me want to go back. And then, but I will tell you this about George Wallace's trivia.
Yes.
It is not easy. Like I think most people only got 50% of the questions right. So, but it's really, and I think that I don't know if he had somewhere to be, but it was like rapid thing.
Who,
So,
George?
yeah. So the first thing is like he showed you a bunch of high school yearbook photos of famous people. And so you go 1, 2, and 3. He shows you them, and you've got to write their names down. And then you have to, for a bonus point, it's like these 3 people have something in common, and you have to say what it is. You know, like there was a picture of Cher, Madonna, and Prince from their high school yearbooks, and it was musicians with one name. And then there was John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John, and Stockard Channing, and the whole thing was Grease. But there were some obscure things. I mean, I didn't get Prince. What did I write down for Prince? I think I put JC.
Jesus Christ.
So no, Jay-Z.
Oh,
Beyonce's
JC.
Lemonade.
I thought you said JC.
No, and yeah, the big JC, the Notorious JC.
Notorious JC.
So, but they were hard, and then there was like, and then there was a whole round of TV theme songs. And then he would give you the year and the TV station that they played on. So he's like 1960s Western, you know. And then so I wrote down Gunsmoke because you would think it's either Gunsmoke or Bonanza. It was neither of those. There was a third.
There was more than those two.
Right. And I was like, so that was really difficult. And then there was one about animals that was kind of it was fun. It was hard.
Was the answer Maverick?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, it
That's
had,
the only
it had
other
a few letters. I don't know what. So anyway, a few words, but it was it was difficult. But we were like Danny's team got the most right, and ours was. And there were 3 teams that had what was within 1 or 2 points. So there was a trivia question, like a closest to the pin kind of question to see who was going to get second place, and we ended up
like a
getting
question
second place.
off.
Yeah, we questioned off, got second place, which is great because you get
Nice.
$10, but with a bunch of rules. So you have to use the $10 the very following next Tuesday. So we're going back tomorrow so that we could use it. But it was a lot of fun.
All right.
And we might try out
nice.
some of their food though. We'll see. I tried to. If I had eaten well during the weekend, I would have gone there to eat a bunch of their bar food. But we decided to just eat everything. We went on a tour of Central Florida to show Dylan around. So. Like Saturday, we woke up and we're like, what is there to do? And it's like, we can do something fun or we can do something that we're supposed to do. And the supposed to do thing is like clean the garage and, you know, decide what we're going to sell in the garage
The
sale.
responsible thing to do.
And start to have a garage sale and all that kind of stuff. Or we can explore the city. So we ended up going to Park Avenue. We went to the Briar Patch, which has great breakfast. And we found out if you get there before 10, you get right in, have a really nice breakfast. And then we went to the Winter Park
Nice.
Farmers Market, which was hell because it's 9,000 degrees outside, even
Oof.
at 10:30 in the morning. I went into the porta potty. Holy shit, I came out tan. Not because I went swimming, but because
Oh.
but because
did you rub something on
no,
you?
because it's 9,000. I cooked. If I rubbed
Oof.
butter on myself, I was only in there for like a minute, and it was so hot. in there.
It has been hot this past week, and every time I go outside and it's hot, I was like, I can only imagine how much hotter it is down there.
It's brutal. It's
In Florida. When I say hot down there, it makes it sound like you're in hell. Hot in Florida.
Maybe you shouldn't wear wool underwear, Jeremy.
Oh.
So we did that. Went to Winter Park, and actually bought some things. Like the produce is really cheap at the farmers market.
Yeah.
I think the heat's getting to people. It wasn't big. It wasn't a big to do. I mean, it was just a lot of like food places, and that was it at the farmers market. So then we left there, and there was this camera shop in Ivanhoe Village that was having like a street fair. So we went to that for about 15 seconds, and then we went to behind Seven Bites. There's Hanali something. It's a shave ice trailer. It's
yeah.
the one that used to be on Lang Avenue. I think I told you about that we were gonna try to go to once. But it's just a little trailer, so they move it around from time to time. Delicious, great shave ice. I still think Coco Kakagori might be better, but it's a different kind. Like this place with the little trailer is like Hawaiian shave ice. The other one is like Japanese shave ice.
Also probably cheaper.
Oh, it's totally cheaper. Definitely half the price for sure.
You don't have to sell your firstborn child.
And there's a lot of different flavors, and
there.
it's more traditional because you can get condensed milk on it and that sort of thing. So it's delicious. We had a good time. I mean, we're baking out there because it's all outdoors. We're baking, but as soon as we got the ice and we started eating it, it really cooled down. It's amazing how ice can cool you down. So we did that, and then finally, to round it all out, we went. It was all about food. We went to Zen Dumplings in Waterford Lakes, like next to your old stomping ground movie theater.
Yeah,
it's right next door to that. That's pretty good. Still, though, Kung Fu Kitchen is the best. So we did that, and then on Sunday, to be responsible, we did
cleaned up.
We cleaned the garage a little bit. Yeah. But anyway, that was my week. But the great part about my week was today when Dylan and I decided we're going to come to New York.
You just fuck it. Just
I mean, if we do the photo shoot, then it's justified because it's like work. We got a work.
It's a work.
Do.
Yes,
it's a work.
There you go. So I will say this: since you are coming up next week, so the thing you're coming up for is the Broadway by the Boardwalk. It's at Clinton Cove on Hudson River, and for each week for 6 weeks they have Broadway actors, in some cases legends, putting on free concerts at Clinton Cove. So next week is Anthony Rapp and Adam Pascal from Rent. So you guys are going to come out. We're going to do that. So tonight, I was going to talk about it next week because I didn't know you were coming up here. But so tonight, when Chris gets here and when we're done with the podcast, we're going to go over, and Zachary Noah Pizer is doing it. It's this, people watching the video will see it. It's this cute little twink. And he was Evan Hansen in Dear Evan Hansen, and he was also Bach in Wicked. So we're going to go see him tonight. And he's kind of Chris's type. So I think we're going to try to get him to marry Chris. And if he does, could you imagine if Chris married a Broadway twink?
I've never been to Broadway on the Boardwalk, but I think that's exactly how it works, is that you go see the show of the person you want to marry.
Exactly.
And
listen,
they basically
throw
something in the
Notting
audience,
Hill.
and you catch it, they marry you.
I've seen all sorts of romantic comedies. All they need to do is meet eyes.
No,
he looks at him. He looks at him.
Owen Wilson got to marry Jennifer Lopez by holding up a sign that said, "Will you marry me?" So that's all you need.
That's true. I'll make the sign for him. I want those kids to be happy.
Oh, look, you said he's in this.
So we're going to go see that little twink tonight. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
I'm sure he'll do some.
I chose this to drink out of because we decided to go to New York. So I wanted to drink out of a New Yorkie mug.
So, so we're going to go see that tonight. And then you and me and Dylan and maybe Chris, if he's not working, we'll go see The Rent fellas.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
go tonight, so you figure out how it goes and like what time we need to get
Yes.
there to
I'll learn
get
the
good
layout.
seats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm used to sitting in like the first 15 rows, so I don't want to be like on a blanket in the hill 12 blocks
Gotcha.
away.
I don't think there's a hill because it's on the Hudson. So we'll be on a dock. But I will get us good seats.
Hey, so the point of the podcast is that we watch a show and talk about it. So we decided to do
didn't
that.
we?
So we did watch a show. We decided to go
We
TV
did.
this time. And because you saw a TikTok.
Okay,
right?
yeah, this whole thing is based off of a TikTok I saw, which after I saw the TikTok and I mentioned to you, I was like, well, how gay could this show be? Turns out pretty gay. Even the straight characters are pretty gay. So the show is called Adults, and it's on FX. And excuse me, my apologies. So it's a show on FX about a collection of Gen Z folks.
Who are just
And,
coming into adulthood.
Yes, just hence the name adults, just coming into adulthoods in New York City. And there sorry. Oh my God, the death thing that you put upon me is kicked in.
It's starting. We're getting close to the end of the podcast, so it's got to start kicking in.
Oh God, I'm about to die. So anyway, there was a lot of things they mentioned in this podcast They mentioned in this show that I was like, oh, hey, that's me. And it was kind of depressing because they're a bunch of Gen Zers who are just getting into the world being adults and experiencing things. I was like, oh, I'm experiencing the same things. I was like, oh, but I'm a 46-year-old, not Gen Z. I'm a Gen Xer. I should already be past this bullshit. But I'm not.
Yeah, I was starting to make some notes about my opinions of the group, and then I thought, I won't say that because then Jeremy might get offended.
Oh no, I need a dose of reality.
No,
Say it.
So let's do this thing. Let's give our review overall of it.
Sure.
And then we'll go back and talk about like specific things that we want to mention. So, but you want to guess Rotten Tomatoes on this right off the bat?
Sure. I will say I feel like critics love anything that's on FX. So I'm going to see 86 from critics. And I'm going to say audiences 89.
It was 74 critics and 82 audiences.
All right.
Now, I'm going to say it took me an episode or two to get into it. It is chaos. It is like
chaos.
It's sort of like I thought, oh, this will be like Friends for the new generation.
Oh,
and it's not like Friends. It's chaos.
This is cringy, so cringy, as the kids like to say.
It's nonstop chaos. But I have to say that I really got into it. It took a couple of episodes, but I really liked it, and I'm going to throw out 4 grapes for this. I think it's definitely worth the watch.
I will piggyback on your 4 grapes. I will say definitely worth the watch, even if you're not. If you're part of that Gen Z Zoomer generation, definitely watch this because you probably identify with a lot of it. If you're not, I feel like it gives you a window into that generation and then what they're dealing with and what they're putting up with. Because life is way different than when we were kids, and they're dealing with different things and in some cases similar things. I mean, I'm sure we've all slept with our former teachers.
I will say that what the insight it's given me is that it has exacerbated this thought that I already figured was this. So when most people work from home from Watermark now, we work in a hybrid situation. So you've got Caitlin and Bellany and Kay will soon be doing this, and Ryan, that all work from home. And this show, this is exactly what I think they're doing. this is what I think of when I call and somebody answers the phone and goes, mm-hmm, and then disappears again. It's because they're just doing these things, this chaotic thing that these people are doing. And it made me laugh, actually. And I was like, I probably shouldn't be watching it. As a Gen X boss, I shouldn't be watching this show and having these thoughts being what's the word I'm looking for, like validated.
Yeah.
through what they're doing, because they're like, oh, I have to log on to this computer and say into this meeting, or I'll start getting emails and people asking where I am. So he just kind of goes and then he gets back off and goes and does whatever he was doing, and it cracks me up because it's
Now,
like that's my impression.
What
of work from
initially
home.
turned me on to the show and why I recommend it to you is because there was a clip from the show, I think it's episode 4, going around that features Jack Inanen, who I follow on TikTok. He has like 3 million TikTok subscribers. I am obsessed with him.
He's adorable.
I think he's hilarious. He plays Paul Baker. He's the only character in the show who they call by his full
I love
name.
it. Do you know, I have friends like that. I won't say their full names on here, but there's like one guy in particular who's in the theater realm here in Orlando.
Yeah.
And no one ever calls him by his first name is David. No one ever just calls him David. They always call him by his full name. And then I have another friend named Matt, who I would say his full name. In fact, all the time, even to him, if he was in the room, and then at one point he was like, it creeps me out that you call me by my full name. Could you stop doing that? And I'm like, there's just certain people that you call by the full name. So that made me laugh.
So he calls by the full name, and he's the reason why I wanted to watch this show, because I love his TikToks. He's hilarious. If you don't follow him on TikTok, you should go check out some of his TikToks. He does these little skits. He's Canadian, and he's just delightful. I am not a fan of guys who just have mustaches. It's like you either need a full beard or you need nothing at all. I can't do but he is just the mustache, and I think it's very attractive on him. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's very handsome, and I dig him, and that's the whole reason I want to watch the show. But the rest of the cast,
I'm sure you're hoping that he'll be caught shirtless or something like that.
That a couple of the guys show their asses in here, because I thought he'd show his ass, but he's the only guy who doesn't show his ass.
Yeah, there was one scene where they show him sitting and he's wearing like gray sweat shorts, and the camera's like almost up his crotch, and they're so short. I'm like, he's gonna have a saxident any second.
Saxident. I like that. Write that down. So the rest of the cast I didn't recognize, except for Owen Thiel, who plays Anton. He was in a show that just, good Lord. I'm sorry.
Do you need
got the hiccups.
Dial 9-1 and just hover over the 1.
Yeah, I know, right?
I have your address. I'll call them. I'll get them there if you start.
He was in the show Overcompensating that we just watched. Him and Jack are the only two that I recognize from something else.
I only recognize Owen.
Oh, yeah. Well, definitely. When we're done here, go check out some of Jack's TikToks. He is hilarious. I love him. So this show is like you said, it's kind of like this generation's Friends or Seinfeld. I think more Seinfeld than Friends. It's 5 friends. They're not great people. They're struggling people.
Oh, I thought you were going to say stupid. They're all stupid.
They're all very stupid.
They're all very stupid. There's not one smart one. Not one smart one. Maybe like Owen, but he's neurotic in his own way. Or what's his name?
Some of the shit they did, I was like, and I said this while sitting on the couch by myself. This is why people hate your generation. I said that numerous times during this show. Now, I enjoyed this show, but there are many times where I'm like, this is why people hate your generation. And one of them, like Samir, when he's going for a job interview, and they're like, hey, you can loosen up. The job interview's over. And then he moons them. I'm like, dude, what are you fucking thinking?
That's their fault. He was like, oh, and they're like, come on, you can celebrate better than that. Like, yeah, and then he starts dancing around, and they're like, yeah, they're egging him on to do more and more, and the only thing he can think of is to moon them.
So he
moons
which is
them,
stupid.
and then immediately gets fired.
But Samir has a very nice ass.
He did.
So, I mean, I would never moon somebody, but I don't think I have a nice ass. If I thought I had a nice ass, I might moon more people.
I have a lot of oh my God moments that I wrote down about this.
Yeah.
But the first one comes in the opening scene.
Right. The way it opens. Okay.
This is your life, Jeremy. This is your life.
The last couple of things we reviewed, the first thing I do is because I watch things with captions so that I don't miss anything. So I just want to say
Were there birds chirping?
No. train rumbling. Train
Ah,
rumbling.
and the
Yeah, so
rumbling
different.
was a dude, not a homeless dude, a dude
No,
like in a suit,
Just some guy coming back from work,
hands in his
long
pants,
day, hands in his pants, masturbating.
whacking it, like going to town,
Yeah,
like he's gonna hurt it, kind of whacking it. And
yeah.
then you think that's the weird part. No, that's not the weird part.
No,
Then this girl
no.
that's in the group sees it and starts
Isa,
yelling.
Isa.
Yeah,
Isa?
Isa going like,
Isa?
"Oh my god, is nobody else watching this?" So she says, "You're a sick man. Is this okay? This is what we do now?" And so
You like this?
she puts her hand on her pants and starts tapping it,
Yeah.
and it's just going to town on herself.
And they lock eyes,
and then
and he's getting
and then
excited.
the guy gets excited, and then she's like, "Is this normal? Is this okay?" And they're just like both going at it, looking at each other.
She
It's so
stands
absurd.
up and she's rubbing herself, and she's like, "Why is no one saying anything?"
My
It's
favorite
like,
part.
girl, stop.
My favorite part of it is that when they get off of the thing, she goes, "I went a little overboard on that." She's like, "That's good." And then she goes, "I looked into his eyes and he didn't come, right? I didn't see him come in his eyes." And they're like, "No, he didn't come. He didn't come." And then they're like, "What's that in your hair?" And then she's like, "Oh, I don't know." And then she walks away, and the other girl was like, "Oh, he definitely came."
He definitely
She's
came.
like, "I got some on my shoe." So gross.
So yeah, that's how the show opens. So the overall of the show is these five friends: Samir, Billy, Paul Walker, Paul Baker, Issa, and Anton. So four of them minus Paul Walker, they all live in Samir's parents' house. Samir's parents are like, I think they're retired, so they're like traveling around the country or something. Like they're not in New York. They're out living their lives.
Yeah, they're
And-
doing some sort of like nature tour of something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So they're all living in Samir's parents' house, and from the first episode, Issa is trying to get Samir to let Paul Walker move in because, damn it, I did it again. Paul Baker,
who is her
Paul
boyfriend,
Baker, yeah,
who she introduces to everyone as fluid.
Yes, he's gender fluid. So the LGBT aspect of the reason we're reviewing this is Paul Baker is gender fluid and Anton is gay.
But he's not gender fluid. She just tells people that because she wants him to be. In fact, there's this part where she's talking to Anton and Paul Baker, and she goes, "My gays and theys," and Paul Baker says, "Babe, I'm straight," and then she said, "You don't have to decide that right now."
No. He says he's cis.
I'm cis.
He is
Yeah.
fluid. Yeah, because she calls him a they, and he goes, "I'm cis," and she's like, "You don't have to decide that right now."
But you do get this vibe from him throughout most of the show without them saying anything until towards the end that him
and Anton,
he's fluid when it comes to sexuality, but not gender.
Yeah, but through the whole season, there's this kind of energy between
Anton,
Paul
Baker.
Baker, and I'm just gonna call him Paul. I don't need to say the full name. Paul and Anton. There's like this kinetic energy where you're like, are they in love with each other? There's just like this spark. So do you want to go episode by episode, or you just want to talk? Okay.
No,
so,
I just thought we'd point out a couple of things.
I wrote a couple of lines first because one thing I will say about this, while I am not Gen Z, and some of the things they did in the show were, as the kids say, cringe. There were some lines in here that cracked me up. And one of them was, I think Samir said this. And he's like, he's just getting in the world. He's like, I always thought the world was waiting for me, but I found out it's just annoyed that I'm here. And I was like, me too, girl. Me too. But because he has this whole aspect about him where he thinks that he is like super progressive. He's like, I am. In fact, through many episodes in the show, people call him a bitch boy, and he like embraces that as like a badge of honor. He's like, yeah, I am a bitch boy because I respect females, and I understand that minorities have a rough time in this world. He like overcompensates so far to the left. Like, I need people to know that I'm very progressive and that I recognize your struggle. So I'm going to go farther in that direction.
He's endearing. He's like the Ross of the
He
group.
is. He's
Like,
okay.
When
He
he
is-
when he
it-
clogged the toilet, it reminded me totally of like the Ross in the pants
Yeah.
thing, and it was
And I
it
don't
was
know if you watch.
hilarious.
I don't know if you watch How I Met Your Mother, but Ted and Ross and Samir all hang out in the same area. They're all the same people, basically. And it's that whole kind of, I don't know, that whole kind of like, I'm a very observant person who understands what you're going through, and I want you to recognize that. And he goes out of his way to make sure that you recognize that he understands your struggle, which just makes him seem like he doesn't get your struggle. It's just a lot. Samir's a lot in this show.
I think they do. It's very woke in that sense. The whole show is, but they also like poke fun at it, and it cracks me up. And like they have the best intentions, but then they're hilarious about it. So in the first episode, the whole vehicle of that is they have this friend that they went to school with whose boss like sexually assaulted him.
Yes,
like groped him.
One of my favorite things about the show is the title of the article. The headline is "When Boomers Touch Zoomers."
So they go to support this guy, and he's doing this rally, and he's speaking, and then the girl Issa, she wants to get up and give a speech, and the guy's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you have to have one of these," and he has a badge.
He pulls he has a badge that says "victim."
He literally has a victim
This is my
card.
victim card.
And so it's like, you have to have one of these to speak or they'll frown on you. And she goes, well, I don't have that one, but I have this. And she pulls out a woman card. And then she pulls out my parents were immigrants card. And he goes, oh, well, I guess both of those will work. And so
I guess you can talk.
So that cracked me up. The one thing that they do that I don't get, and I've only seen this happen in a group of friends, let's say maybe I wasn't there, but maybe I just heard about it, is like a lot of drugs have to be involved for this to happen.
Sure.
But this girl's like peeing, and people are they're having everyone's in the room. Like they all walk into the bathroom while she's peeing, and they think she's
I'm not
pooping,
into that.
And they're all just talking about it. And then
when Anton comes in, he's like, open your legs, I have to pee. I was like, no,
and he's gonna pee
step
between
out.
her legs. And
You're
then
done.
The other girl is like, no, it's fun. We did it last week. Like, what are you talking about? Is this a Gen Z thing?
I don't know. It's a weird thing
Gen
that
Zs,
I am
let
not
us know.
into. Yeah, reach out.
So that was a fun one. What's and then that episode led in this whole thing, and where like the girl, like when she was in the bathroom, she started bleeding from not the right
from
hole.
her asshole.
He goes, where did that come from? And she said, not the right hole.
So
she went to get a colonoscopy, but then her proxy, which is Samir, they were like, oh, she doesn't have insurance.
By the way, this is the episode that made me so annoyed by Samir. It's like, dude, you're really pissing me off now. This whole episode, he pissed me off.
The whole thing just cracked. Like the whole situation cracked me up because he kept saying like she has insurance now, but they knew she was getting fired from her job and that she wasn't going to have insurance, so she needed to get all of that work done now. So he had her getting like colonoscopy,
an endoscopy, a colonoscopy, a vaginaoscopy, whatever they call that shit.
They actually called it a vagoscopy or something like that. And
my favorite thing. Oh, are you gonna say what they said?
Ahead.
Called? Oh no, go ahead.
You can.
Oh, okay. When he goes, medically speaking, we want it to kiss in the middle.
Yeah, because he's like, should we wait and do this one or not do all of them? And she goes, no, it's better when they all kiss in the middle.
Medically, it's better to let them kiss in the middle. Cracked me up. And you know what made me crack? Maybe I'm sharing too much because I've had a lot of wine. I've had that where they kissed in the middle, where they did the endoscopy and the colonoscopy at the same time. Not pleasant. I woke up with a very painful asshole and a scratchy throat.
I mean, it's just all funny. And the scene where like they have this seance. And that the whole seance thing cracked me up. So Issa and Anton, they both see the same therapist, and their therapist dies. and they
Yeah.
think that they overhear that he committed suicide, so they think it's their fault because she's like,
Yeah, because they're so fucked up.
They're so fucked. Like I called him at 3 a.m. asking him a question, and then he killed himself the next day, and so they were freaking out. So they go to this friend of theirs who's like this fake psychic, and they do a seance to ask him, and like it is hilarious. It's like almost
Okay,
to yourself funny.
Is that? She looks very familiar. Is she from SNL?
Oh, I didn't look that up. I don't know.
Oh,
I'll
I
have
need
to
to look
check
that
it
up. She looks really
the non-binary
familiar.
girl, or I
Yes,
just said
the one-
non-binary girl. I'm a fucking idiot. The
The
non-binary
one
person.
when we went and saw Colin Joust, the one who was one of his
Yeah.
opening acts. Yes, it
Joust,
looks
yeah.
just like her. I don't know if that's them or not, but
I don't know.
it looks just like them.
But that was hilarious. And then a part of this thing is like the one girl, Billy, starts dating her old teacher. And
for those who don't know, because you're not a big Marvel like with on Disney Plus the TV shows. That's Daredevil, Charlie Cox. He plays
thought it was
Daredevil.
familiar.
Yeah. Which I totally forgot he's British and he uses a British accent, his British accent
Yeah.
in this. And I was like, Daredevil's British? And I was like, oh, that's right.
But that whole scene where he takes her to that art show that his friend's doing, and she's trying to fit in, and she's like, and it's just bombing, and she says, "You nailed the pink of my clit." It's so stupid. A lot of oh my god things, and then the teacher shows up to a dinner party on Ketamine. Oh my god! And that whole scene where he's cutting the chicken and eating it. It's so
when she
good.
brought it out, I was like, he's gonna cut into that, and that chicken's gonna be raw.
He cuts
she
the
was
chicken
just-
and blood squirts out of it.
She was too proud of that chicken
Yeah.
for something bad not to happen.
will
But
say
he
that,
cuts it
like,
open.
That's one thing that they did very well. Like I remember the first time I cooked an adult dinner as an adult. I
Yeah.
was so proud that I had done that, and they captured that. Like she did this thing. She wants to impress her older boyfriend, and she makes this thing, and it looks great. The problem is
Mr. Teacher is his name in this.
Now,
We later find out his name is Aaron or something, but they call him Mr. Teacher through the whole thing.
Do you know who Julia Fox is? Did you
No.
recognize her? Like
No.
she gets to the thing, and they're all freaking out that, oh my god,
They're freaking out. They're like, oh my God, that's Julia Fox. I had to Google it. I was like, who the fuck is Julia Fox?
I have no idea who it was. So
I
that was
still don't
great.
know who it is.
Then oh my god, this cracked me up. Then the next episode is the abortion teen, where they have like, so they're
What a
hosting. I know, what a bitch. So what
She's
they
a
do
horrible person.
is they host like teenagers from other places that can't get
where
abortions.
states
in their
where you can't
states.
get abortions,
They
host them in their house so they can get an abortion.
So she was such a bitch. To Anton and Paul Baker are charged with overseeing her care while she's there. She's so mean to them, and so he gets so mad at her at one point. Anton does that he starts screaming at her, "Who fucked you, Annabelle? Who fucked you?" Such a funny line.
There's one thing throughout and this is kind of a joke throughout the whole season, which is cracking me up because they're all movies I've seen, but they make reference to like popular movies or like artsy movies. And they're like, oh my God, that's just like Casablanca. And they're like, have you ever seen Casablanca? They're like, no, but I hear it's a good movie. But they do it through the whole, they talk about Casablanca, Birdman, Phantom Thread. They make reference to these artsy movies. They're like, that's just like Birdman. And they're like, have you seen Birdman? Like, no, but I've heard about it. And I was like, I've known people like that who will make reference to things.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, I've never seen it, but in pop culture, I've heard about it. And I was like, how Gen Z?
And another shtick that runs through the whole 8 episodes is that there's 5 people living in this house, and none of them ever check the mail. And so they decide in the last episode that they're finally going to check the mail, and they find out that Paul Baker's visa is expiring.
Yes.
And that he's
before we get into the last episode, back to the abortion girl. She said this cracked me up. One of the funniest lines in there. She's like, because she comes to New York to get her abortion, and she's like, the last girl that I talked to who came to New York, she got to see Wicked, and she got to go see, like, do all these fun New York things. And she's like, can I see where 9/11 was filmed?
Yeah. And then there was something towards the end when they didn't go, and she was being nice anyway, and she started to be nicer to them, and she said, I don't even like Wicked anyway. And they were like, nobody did.
Yeah. I liked it. And so,
anyway,
yeah, the last
they
episode,
find out that
they decide to check the mail and find out that Paul Baker, who's Canadian, his visa is about to expire, which feels very How I Met Your Mother did an episode like this.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm realizing as we watch sitcoms and
Same thing.
time advances, they all do the same storylines. Like
Yeah.
all of these episodes are storylines from sitcoms I've seen in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many stories you can tell, right?
True, true.
So, like, what the fix for this is Issa
Proposes to him, yeah,
since that's
and is going to marry
I'll
him.
marry you. But the problem is when they get to the actual marriage part, she freaks out. She's like,
Yes.
I don't want to marry you. I don't want to do it this way. It's for real.
Now,
and it's
something
crazy."
also to mention this episode is after she proposes to Paul Baker, she apparently, as a fun little gag, got married to a gay friend of hers years before named Juan Carlos. So after she proposes to Paul Baker, she tells Ismar and Anton, you need to go find Juan Carlos and have him sign the divorce papers so I can marry Paul Baker.
And he's a snotty little.
He's a little.
I
don't want to. I'm not going to use the word,
Yeah.
but he's a mean gay.
Yeah, he's
like those gay I saw at the
So
pubs.
he won't sign the divorce papers because he wanted to live with them and they wouldn't let him live
Yes.
with them. And
So
then,
so like earlier in the season, there's this because Paul Baker wants to move in,
yeah,
and they're like, no, there's too many people in the house. So they decided to let Paul Baker move in, and they had told Juan Carlos, who was friends of theirs from years, that he couldn't move in because there just wasn't room.
Yeah. So
But
then,
now Paul Baker moves in.
Yeah, so then they were so bad, but they tell him, they're like, oh, that's too bad because you'd really like Paul Baker. He's really nice, and like he'd be your best friend. And he was like, what? He'll be my best friend? So they said he could be the best man at the wedding if he signed the divorce. So he
The
did.
divorce papers. So Paul
and then
Baker comes in. He's like, who the hell is that? And they're like, that's your best man, Juan Carlos.
Yeah,
whom
So-
you've never met.
So then they're getting ready to get married, and she freaks out and she's like, I can't do this. So then
Yes.
Billy, the blonde girl, is like, I'll marry you. And then he finds out that the girl's been lying about being married the whole time, and he's just kind of like, I'm all about truth. I don't know what's happening here. And then they cut to they're back at the house in the living room, and they're all toasting, and he got married, and it's like, oh, you should
But
go.
because all of the friends were like, well, I'll marry you. So we don't know who ended
he
up
married.
marrying him.
So then
Yeah.
he goes, and they're all drinking. He's like, well, you should sit down next to your new spouse, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then he goes and he sits down next to Anton.
Anton.
So
He married Anton.
got married. And
Who's
then,
had that vibe all
Right.
season.
which no one saw except for the audience
No.
until this very moment when Issa says,
Says,
oh,
kiss
you should
your new
kiss
husband.
your new husband. And so
Yeah.
they give a quick little peck, and she's like, oh, you can do better than that. And then they kiss. And then after
And
they
she's
kiss,
like, what
she's
the
like-
fuck?
she's like a dog when you make a high pitched noise. Hmm? And so she's kind of like, she notices then that something going
Yeah.
on there.
No disrespect, but I think that Paul Baker and Anton make a better couple than Paul Baker and Issa. Now, this felt very targeted and personal because after their like kiss, and then Issa's like, what the fuck? They're all sitting there and they're like, ha ha ha. And then the lights cut out and they say, ugh, Con Edison. And I was like, no, you're right. Con Edison fucking sucks.
I want to say this though about that. That's funny. What he said was Conrad Edison, and it's
Con-
funny.
oh, that's right.
Because he doesn't know what Con Ed is. He doesn't know that that's the electric company from New York City.
That's the electric company in New York City.
So he's just in there, and he says, "Why are we getting all this mail from Conrad Edison? Who is this?" So when the electric goes out, he yells, "Conrad Edison!" That's funny
Do you know why I pissed at them? I got my first electric bill.
because it rains out of your light sockets. What?
Well, not only that, but it's been so fucking hot here. We have 3 air conditioner units trying to cool this fucking apartment down. It's a 1-bedroom apartment. My first electric bill was $499. And I looked at it, and only 160 of it is electric. Like over $250 of it is delivery of electric to your house. Fuck you, Conrad Edison. delivery and $250 to deliver the electric
Yeah,
to
I
my
don't care
house.
how much of it you use. I delivered it. So
Yeah. Like even the delivery fees on DoorDash aren't even that fucking high.
it's weird. Sometimes, like the way that they work utilities, like I don't know. I don't want to sound like the conspiracy theorist or they screw you all the time. It's like, but it costs more money to take water away from your house than it does to take water to your house. That's why, like, if you get a leak, like your bill shoots up like crazy. You got to jump through hoops to prove that it was a leak and that you weren't using the water. It's just all it's all dumb.
So there's this thing on the
Utilities
Con
are
Edison.
stupid.
They are. Fucking sucks. But the Con Edison app, so you can track your daily usage. So it's been cool. It's been nice weather this week. And in the evenings, it gets down to the 60s. So it's like a full-time job of running around the house, adjusting the ACs, turning on the fan, turning off the cooling vent so that you don't spend too much money. And I'm constantly on the app looking at how many kilowatts we're using per hour to adjust it to lower it, and it's such a pain in the ass.
See, Jeremy, I don't ever want you to tell people you're unemployed. You have a full-time job.
I do.
Being a homemaker is a full-time job.
It
And
is.
you're
You know
doing
what?
a stellar job.
When
tell
that
Chris-
motherfucker
you
gets
just-
home,
you tell
I'm
Chris
going to sit him down, and I'm going to tell him, I do a shitload for this house. I'm constantly cooking and monitoring our electric output.
You deserve
It's
a raise.
exhausting. I do. It's not like he doesn't make enough money for the both of us.
Oh,
I made it through the whole
that
bottle, by the
That
way.
would have been a way more awesome, dramatic thing if there was actually wine in the glass when you did that.
I know, I'm all out.
Well, that's a perfect time because we're all out of things to talk
We're
about.
done.
We're
You
done.
know what? I have nothing else to say except Con Edison, call me. We need to talk.
Suck it, Con Ed. Suck it, Conrad.
So, I don't know what we're talking about next week. I know for the past couple of weeks we've been talking about the prom, and then we find something to watch instead of the prom. But we'll find something.
It might be the easiest thing to do since there's going to be
It
travel
might,
involved.
yeah.
So we'll
True.
We'll talk about it. We'll make it work.
True. But until then, and until Rick and Dylan get onto that plane, the cork is back in the bottle.